What is a dirty business tactic that you know and everyone should be aware of it? If you're buying a used car and it's parked over a puddle, they don't want you to look underneath. Oh, that's ducking a disgustingly dirty move. Duckin' greasy. Grehee-assy. Mattress stores that have the find it anywhere else for cheaper, you get your money back. Deal contract with the manufacturer to make the exact same model of bed, but with a model name specific to that store, so nobody can ever cash in on that deal. Not sure if this fits, but if you are offered a raise for taking on new responsibilities, get it in writing. Just learned that the hard way. Been there myself. Manager promoted me, said pay raises will come soon based on performance, then suddenly he wasn't my manager anymore. No paper trail of the promotion or promised pay raises, but I was still stuck with the extra responsibility. Edit, previous job. Bet your ass I quit. No paper trail of extra responsibilities though, either. Tell that to the new manager. Exactly, that's what you do. Every month and every 4 weeks sound similar, but are different. Paying every month gets you 12 payments, every 4 weeks gets you 13. Edit, thanks for top comment, just something my dad taught me when I first got a debit card. Smile. Yep. Gold's Gym changed their pricing structure a few years back to bill you $18 bi-weekly instead of $35 month. At a glance, it looked like a small $2 month increase, but in reality it was $2 month more, plus 2 extra payments per year. I complained and they kept me on the previous plan, saying I was grandfathered in since I'd had a membership for like 5 years. Edit, it's only a $1 month increase. I suck at math. Edit number 2, to clarify, I meant to correct the part where I said it looked like a small $2 month increase. $18 to $36, up from $35 month, looks like a $1 month increase, but it's that plus the 2 extra payments per year, plus the extra opportunities for them to collect late fees. I'm very hungover, please give me a pass on this one. When finding a home for your elderly parents, set up an appointment but come in a few minutes early and say, don't ask, if you can walk around for a quick look. The receptionist likely won't refuse you, and the salesperson won't be ready for you. These places like to show you only the stuff they want you to see when being led around by a salesperson. Chat with a resident or a staff member, they'll be the most honest with you. In Nova Scotia, Canada, severance pay is paid on the average of your last 30 days of pay. This means that some companies will actually reduce your hours to minimum your last month with them if they are going to lay you off. Happened to me wife. She worked for this company for 5 years, worked 35 plus hours per week, suddenly she wasn't getting shifts. Boom, layoff notice. Happened to other folks too. Call the labor board? Ike about in Nova Scotia, but here in Ontario that's illegal. Even if she quit because she wasn't getting enough hours due to them reducing it, she'd still be entitled to pay. They cannot reduce your hours by more than a certain percent each week. Can't remember the percent, can tell you I have fought this and won. This is known as constructive dismissal, where the terms of your employment change so drastically that the labor board considers it equivalent to being fired. You should be entitled to employment benefits based on the hours prior to your constructive dismissal. Offering insurance on anything that does not have the potential to be financially debilitating. Want to insure your DVD rental? Duck off. Want to insure your Lego set? Lady, if the Lego truck breaks, I'll just build it again. You should get the insurance, then a few months later send pictures of the crash complete with blood on the driver's side door, and repair estimates from no less than 3 certified Lego mechanics. And don't forget to take down the Lego insurance information from the driver of the Lego spaceship that hit your truck. The matter might have to be settled in court. Some stores increase the price of a product and then put it on sale by a percentage of the fake higher price. I worked in the collections department at Discover Card for a while. One thing they did, maybe still do, to lure customers to them is offer 0% April for the first year. People would jump on this and transfer all their debt onto their new Discover Card, and then the company would conveniently not send the first month's bill. In the fine print of the agreement, it states that if you miss even one payment in that first year, your April will jump to 29.95%. Half of my calls were to these new customers who would then proceed to throw a fit, because they didn't ever get the bill, and I had to explain to them that it was their job to know when the bill was due, and sending one was just a courtesy extended by the company. I hated that job. It ate away at my soul. In the US, the Federal Card Act in 2010 made it a requirement to send a bill 21 days before the due date. If this was after that, they weren't just being slimy but straight up illegal. When I was in the process of moving into my current home, I transferred the title of my old home and land to my sister because she was buying it and moving in when I left. Within the next few weeks, she started getting all the welcome to the neighborhood coupons and flyers. She didn't even change her address, so I assume companies track title changes with the Register of Deeds. The sketchiest was a pest control company claiming to have an existing account on the property and recommending she continue to use their services. They detailed dates and changes, referenced termites. It was all lies. All the dates shown were while I owned the property, and I never even heard of this company before she received that letter. Edit, a word edit too? People are prying and I don't want to give too much info, but this took place in North Carolina. I am aware that title changes are public record, but I was surprised by the speed. The small town I live in can take up to 2 months to update their online public databases. Clearly there are ways to get the info I was not aware of. I feel like that one is one you should actually report to someone. You're probably right. In the mess of moving, I doubt she actually held on to the letter, and I don't think they've contacted her again. We have many more clients interested in this limited offer. Yay, sense of urgency is annoying. When moving out of a rental apartment house, make sure to take lots of pictures and ask the owner-landlord to do a walkthrough with you. Video the walkthrough. That way, if they do not give you all your deposit back, you have something to take to court versus a he said, which you generally lose. When you turn in cable internet equipment, make sure to get a full receipt showing what they took in and the date it was received. Scan this and email to a couple different email accounts. Comcast and others are bad about losing the equipment a couple years later, after you forget, and then billing you. See ya. Similarly, take pics of any existing damage to a rental as soon as you move in and email it to the landlord leasing office. I did this after a landlord told us he took the last tenant's entire security deposit for damage. To be fair, it sounded like the tenant really messed shit up. I took that as a flag and sent him a very detailed email of every hint of damage I could find. 12 months later, after we moved out, he emailed me to say he was going to deduct $100 from our security for damage. I reminded him of the email I sent him, and never heard from the ducker again. Edit, as my highest rated comment to date, this is literally the best experience involving that landlord I ever had. Landlord tried to claim damages after we moved out. I took extensive before and after pictures of every corner of the place. I said, "Oh really? Can you send pictures of the damages so I can compare them to the ones I took when we moved out?" Never heard from her again. This sounds like it could be worth the bluff anyway, if you never took photos in the first place. A local lawn maintenance business takes advantage of unsuspecting customers in 3 ways. 1. On monthly bills, they double the state tax. Instead of being, say, 6%, it'll actually be 12% if you check the math. 2. Without discussing it with homeowners, they charge double for double cuts when the grass is a little taller in areas than usual. So, if you had agreed to pay $50 per mowing, the monthly bill says $100 for each visit. They never ask, they just do it and charge double. In most cases, it's just a small patch of the yard that has taller grass, not the entire thing. 3. They're supposed to mow once per week. But without telling customers first, they start mowing every 5 days, which means they get to charge for more mowing visits per month than necessary. The closing down sale in the shop that never closes down. It's just in closing down sale mode continuously. I'm amazed shops are allowed to get away with this. Closing down sale until 5 p.m., grand reopening sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. I live, I die, I live again. Debt collectors will have detectives call you from a number that appears to be a legitimate law enforcement agency when you Google it. It's actually a spoofed caller ID using a legitimate agency's fax number. The detective will threaten arrest and throw around names of local judges. The debt collector will claim to not know the detective who left the message, but will be willing to take care of your debt. Edit time, yes, it's illegal, but it's very hard to prove, and that's why they do it. Law enforcement or courts will only call you in the case of theft, like a hot check, but will never call for an old debt. It's civil and they don't have jurisdiction. I think my phone has a bad connection, let me call you right back on the department number. What's your name badge so I can get the reg up? To direct me back to you? Do this for everything. Even on seemingly innocuous stuff. especially if your bank's fraud department is calling you and asking questions. My bank's fraud department is automated. If it detects fraud, then you get a call with a simple "Do you recognize these last 6 charges?" Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. You input no personal information. No person contacts you asking about stuff. I travel a lot, so my card gets flagged for fraud relatively often. Then again, it does look suspicious as hell to have charges in 4 states across 3 time zones in a 24-hour period, so I appreciate their diligence. This is the best way to do it. Mine will send me a text asking me to text back yes or no if the purchase was made by me. I trust it so much more than an unknown number.